Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Korean. And today, it looks like Crunchyroll is going to be re-releasing its manga app to its full library for you to read manga on your smart device. Now, before I get into that, this article makes claims that it's a questionable decision. There's been some bad things at Crunchyroll going on, and I didn't really know about it, so I kind of went looking. And if anybody has more information and wants to tell me about it, please let me know down in the comments. But basically, what has happened that I can find, I spent about 30 minutes trying to find some of this stuff, but definitely some of the contentions are that they were opening voice actors eat mail and taking anything that was sent to them by fans and giving it to Crunchyroll staff, excluding voice actors from any type of celebrations or anything like that, just to isolate them from being part of Crunchyroll. And back in like 2001, they sold off everyone's personal information to third parties. That's a big deal. And they took away a lot of the racier content and toys and figures from sale, and that's hurt their division some. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's a you thing. But the other one was really, there's been some accusations, that their corrupt management, what they mentioned here, and from former employees and distributors. I was trying to find something about that, couldn't find that. But the other major problem, and I did hear about this, and that was the only thing that kind of sparked, is despite the terrible shift in animation on Seven Deadly Sins and trying to recover that, was the localization translations in the anime and how a lot of that stuff was more translated for more Western audiences and not the original intent behind the language it was written in, the original context and things like that. And that upset some people. And I don't really have specific examples to cite, but that's what I could find. So Sony bought them back, I think Sony bought them back in 2001. Sony bought Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll bought Funimation. So there's a lot of things. And that's a whole ball of wax that, that's some problems. And one of those is a big problem. Any one of those is a big problem altogether. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on. And I'm not really here to talk about it. I'm curious about it. But it does, with the localization, does kind of relate to what I really want to talk about in this article, is that the re-releasing of their manga app. Now, this is something I didn't know existed, and, this is something that DC and Marvel have done. You pay a subscription, you can read whatever you want from their catalog. All the back issues of every comic book they've got. At least I still think they do. I know that's what DC Universe shifted to after they merged all their animation in with Max. So, which was a bad thing because we lost Swamp Thing, which was an amazing show. I was one of the first people to sign up for DC Universe. I was in it to win it on that one. It was great on DC. It went kind of downhill. Harley Quinn went kind of crazy. Lots of interest in it. But this is a thing that I'm interested in. And I know my daughter is interested in. If it's not completely ruined in the translation with the localization, I want it. No offense. I've got a whole bookshelf that is nothing but manga. And my daughter's got a whole bookshelf, nothing but manga for her stuff. And we do bargain shop, and we pick up used ones at bookstores, like half price books, and at cons and stuff like that. We'll find stuff and be like, ooh, yes, let's pick these up and get them cheaper. But I mean, a whole collection of a series is expensive. And there's things like, oh man, I'd love to get back. I'd love to start reading, this or that. And I mean, if you decided, hey, I want to read One Piece, good stinking luck. Take out a loan if you're going to buy all the One Piece. I mean, it's going to be huge. I mean, you've got a lot of buying to do. And I think this is something that people that I'm on a laptop, a tablet, something almost all day. Or at least I've got it. I wouldn't say I'm on it. I have access to something within arm's reach all day. Like most of us do. We've got our smartphones or tablets or whatever. And sitting down to read manga on a tablet, man, that'd be great. Just sit there and just swipe and just read and read and read and read. I mean, I literally have 2 Kindles. I have 2, one for fun, one for learning. So that's how I've separated the 2 Kindles. One's for fun, one's for learning. And because they both work, I bought the original keyboard and I bought the new Touch a while back. Well, not the new Touch, but I bought a Touch a while back. And yeah, I do read from devices a lot. I do read a lot of physical. I mean, I've got bookshelves behind me. I mean, there's some stuff in front of that stuff, but I mean, that's all books. That's the stuff I need to read. All the stuff I have read, I've got 4 bookshelves in the living room of all the stuff I have read that I want to keep. I may read again or may go back for reference. So I love reading and I love manga, and there's so many things I'd like to get into. Me having this app, I'm all for it. I do understand that there are issues around Crunchyroll, and I don't want to be that, I mean, if it was handled by anybody else but Crunchyroll, then we probably wouldn't have this issue, right? If it was done by another company, there wouldn't be this issue, and I'd be signing up for it. I mean, literally, when it launches, this is probably going to be one of my daughter's birthday gifts, for sure. She's going to love it. Having a subscription to manga at her fingertips, 100%. So, I'm here for it. I want it. And I think a lot of people feel the same. And that's okay. But we also have to remember that, yeah, there's some weird things going on at Crunchyroll, and we have to make that decision. Do we want the product despite of what's going on with the parent company, or do we just want the product? And that's what a lot of Culture World's about. And I don't sign off any of the negative stuff, any of the controversies that Crunchyroll is or is not involved in. I'm not okaying any of it. I'm not saying any of it's okay. From what I found, absolutely, if it's at all true, none of it's okay. I don't know what the corruption is from their management and their employees are, besides what I mentioned, and it could be really bad. But it's also like, if Sony does take heed and make some changes, then yes, I want to get this. But I also don't want to continue to fund a company that is engaged in bad faith practices to its employees. Absolutely not. So this is kind of a conundrum thing. And like, I want this, but I also don't want to support a company that is mistreating its employees. I don't. So I kind of hope Sony sorts this stuff out with Crunchyroll before it launches this app. I hope all of it is cleared up, rectified, and made good. Oh yeah, and they disabled, what was the other one? They disabled comments on a lot of their YouTube videos and things like that. And, okay, that's their choice. If someone doesn't want to leave comments on a video, fine. There's quite a few videos out there that you can't leave comments on. That's fine. That's what the upvote and downvotes for. So I'm of that disposition that I want this, but I don't want to support or fund Crunchyroll in a way that would allow them to continue in these bad practices. So I want this, but I don't want to fund Crunchyroll. If that makes sense. And if all this stuff is wrong, all of this stuff proves to be completely inaccurate, that would be incredible. That'd be amazing. That so much stuff is pushed at Crunchyroll of all these bad things. Do I think some of it's probably true? Absolutely. Well, we know the comments on the videos is true. That's verifiable. Some of the other allegations and stuff like that, the actual selling of the personal information is true. There was a class action lawsuit that was settled. So that's verifiable. But the other stuff, it's not verified yet, but it seems to be pretty sound, coming from multiple sources, that those comments are true. Well, the figurines are true too. The racier stuff was removed. That's verifiable. But the opening of voice actors mail and mistreatment of employees, that hasn't been 100% verified. I'm not saying it's not true. And in my heart of hearts, I hope it's not, because I don't want people mistreating their employees. Not like that crazy, what was it, that subsidiary of Blizzard that made like that poor woman like bang her head up against a door frame for doing something wrong. You know, I mean, crazy stuff like that. That's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. So I'm not condoning anything Crunchyroll's doing. I'm just in a weird place. I really want a smart app that I can pay a subscription for and read all the manga I want at any rate I want, just like any streaming service, but not fund Crunchyroll. You know? I want it, but I don't want to do that. It's it's just one of those things. It's like, man, I want this, but and I don't want to say do it or don't do it. You've got to make that call. And I hope Sony addresses all these issues and fixes these issues. Apologize and makes restitution to those involved. Please do the right thing. That's all I'm asking for. Change for better habits and for better things. And I think we'll all end up being happier for it, right? We need to treat others with love and respect. That's how we got to do it. So until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.